Straight up our mega deal story. Godrej Properties has put 2 lakh square feet of office space for sale in its Godrej BKC project, and a couple of biggies are in the fray. We have Utkarsh Chaturvedi joining us with some exclusive details on this big story. Utkarsh, this looks like a high stakes battle. Who all are in the fray and how big is this deal?
It is this space on my right which all the tech giants of the world are eyeing for an office space. Now what we are picking up from our sources is that Godrej Property looks to sell somewhere around 2 lakh square feet of office space in this building, and tech giants like Facebook, Google, Cisco, Stanchart and Brookfield, all of them are eyeing this project. Now what we're talking about is somewhere around an 800 crore deal. The valuation which has come for this is somewhere around 34,000 per square feet, which is in the premium side. So this is what we're expecting at this point of time. Now talking about this whole project, Godrej Properties has sold somewhere around 5 lakh square feet of land to Abbott earlier this year. Again, the valuation was somewhere around 34,000 square feet. Now remember, this building is being developed by Godrej Properties in partnership with Jet Airways. So half of the property is with Jet Airways, which the company will be looking at leasing. But the Godrej Properties one, after the 5 lakh Abbott sale, was left with somewhere around 2 lakh square feet and is now looking to sell it out. Somewhere around 4 to 6 weeks is what we are expecting the deal to end. And it's a good news for Godrej Properties, as it will be able to complete the full sale out of its commercial property, and signs of commercial property is really picking up.
Now, it's not just Mumbai that's buzzing. In Delhi too, mega deals are being signed. The latest to buy a bungalow in the prestigious Lutyens zone is Dabur's VC Burman. The Dabur Titan bought a bungalow in Golf Links for a whopping 160 crore rupees. What's the hook behind these mega deals? Has the market bottomed out? Who else is buying prime property in the NCR? My colleague Deepa Rana sent us this report with the details.
We have seen some really good deals happen this year. This time it is none other than VC Burman, Emeritus Chairman of the Dabur Group, who has bought this bungalow of 160 crores located in plush Golf Links area. This is a bungalow bought on 1,310 square feet yard, based on a total built-up space of 9,000 square feet. This bungalow has been bought for 160 crores. Now, this is not the only bungalow that has been bought. He has another bungalow on the Prithvi Raj Road. There are other businessmen who are coming up and buying more and more bungalows. There is, earlier this year, it was Kabul Chawla of BPTP who sold 575 square feet yard bungalow in Golf Links area for 65 crores. Then earlier this year, Subhash Chandra promoted SL Group bought a bungalow built on 2.8 acres of land on Bhagwan Das Road that cost him 3,004 crores. Also, Rajiv Ratan purchased a bungalow on the Amrita Shergill Marg in plush Lutyens, Delhi. Now, as we see more and more bungalows being bought and sold, it seems high in the real estate market, and we hope, as we've been reporting on Magic Bricks now, we are looking forward for 2016 as the action is going to continue.
Now, it looks like maintaining your home in Pune may get costlier. Reason? The municipal corporation is mulling a property tax hike in the new year. Ruchi Deshpande tracks the Pune market and she sent us this report. Have a look.
If you are a homeowner in Pune, then you may have to pay more towards its maintenance in the new year, that is 2016. I say this as the Pune Municipal Corporation, or the PMC today, has proposed to hike the property tax in Pune by 10%. The civic body hopes to gather a revenue of approximately 73.80 crore from this move if it is gone ahead and implemented. Now, what does this mean for you as a home buyer? If you are an individual apartment owner, then the outgo of your maintenance will go up. Similarly, if you are an individual bungalow owner, that means that you will have to pay more property tax to the PMC. The reason for the PMC doing this is that it is running low on revenues, which it will also use for the development of the upcoming smart cities and as well as the infrastructure of the city. The weak revenue is also due to the fact that lower body tax was abolished in Pune, and hence that is the reason for doing so. But remember that this is just a proposal sent by the Pune Municipal Corporation, and it requires the standing committee's approval, which will be done so on the presentation on the upcoming Tuesday.
On that note, it's on to our special series, Breathless in India. much debated odd-even formula is set to hit Delhi roads by the 1st of January. The Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal detailed the government's plans in a press conference today. Violators could face a 2,000 rupee fine. My colleague Deepa Rana sent us his report with all the details of that curious plan. Have a look.
The odd and even formula to clean Delhi's air is going to start from January 1, 2016. Delhi's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal held a PC today and announced some key points which are going to be part of the blueprint which is going to be released on Monday. A formal blueprint is going to be released on Monday. However, some of the key points of the blueprint are going to be that they are going to be about the odd even cars are going to ply on odd dates, and the even cars are going to ply on even dates. There are going to be 2,000 rupees fine for the cars who are not going to comply to odd and even order. Also, there are a few cars which are going to be exempted from the odd and even formula. For example, the cavalcade of the President, of the Prime Minister are going to be exempted. Then there are going to be the cars of the CMs of the other states except the Delhi CM and Delhi MLAs, which are going to be exempted from this odd and even formula. The cars of the judiciary, like the Chief Justice of India, the Supreme Court judges, the High Court judges are going to be excluded. Then the cars of the Lieutenant Governor is going to be excluded. The cars of the disabled are going to be exempted from this odd and even formula. There are also going to be some emergency vehicles like the ambulance, the police cars, the fire trucks that are going to be exempted. Also, the cars of army are going to be exempted from the odd and even formula. According to Arvind Kejriwal, there are going to be about 10,000 volunteers of the Aam Aadmi Party who are going to give roses to people who do not comply with the odd and even order. This is going to start from January 1, 2016. It is a pilot plan from January 1 to January 15th. Also, this is not going to be extended from January 15 unless the infrastructure, the transport and the public transport is able to bear the brunt of this odd and even formula. Arvind Kejriwal also said that there are going to be school kids who are going to be exempted, like schools are going to remain closed from January 1 to January 15th. Also, we may come back to this plan after a few months, but for now it's just from January 1 to January 15th that the odd and even formula is going to continue.
Special year-ender series Realty Roundup. And this series, we track all the hot markets across India and tell you how they have fared in the last 1 year. We also tell you what areas you should be betting on. Today, we take a look at Amchi, Mumbai's residential market. How has the financial hub performed when compared to the rest of the cities over the last 12 months? Disha Shah brings us this report. Take a look.
It is always darkest before dawn, and this holds true for the Mumbai property market. The year 2015 started with a lot of hope, but the year did not play out as anticipated. The Mumbai's residential property market performed way below expectations, partly because of pricing. As per the records, the unsold inventory in Mumbai stands at a massive figure of 77,000 units, and out of which only close to 25 units were sold in the city of Mumbai this year. Although the sales were pretty low during the first half of 2015, the second half of 2015 saw sales going up. The Mumbai's residential sales saw increasing by 28% if we compare it with the previous year, and this is according to a report by JLL. When we talk about top performing markets in the city of Mumbai, clearly Thane district dominated. Areas like Kalyan and Dombivli performed extremely well within the ticket size of 1.5 crore ending up to 3 crore rupees. And when we talk about areas within the Mumbai municipal limits, areas like Chembur, Vadala, Goregaon and Borivali also performed extremely well within the ticket size starting from 80 lakh and going up to 1 crore rupees. However, the silver lining is that the bad days for the real estate sector has bottomed out. Price correction of sorts has already happened. That is what experts believe. Developers' initiatives like offering freebies, discounts, coupled with interest rates being lowered down by RBI, all this has attracted fence setters, and experts believe that 2016 2016 may bring an end to a long and painful journey the real estate sector and particularly Mumbai Mumbai city has had in 2015, and there could be some positive sales momentum in the year 2016 in terms of sales.
And to get us a wholesome perspective of how the Mumbai market has fared, being joined by Sanjay Dutt, Executive Managing Director from Cushman & Wakefield. Sanjay, thank you so much for being with us here on the news on Magic Bricks. Now tell us, how has Mumbai's residential market fared for the year 2015?
The market overall from residential point of view was quite bad, and it actually deteriorated last 12 months to a point where even the top developers were finding it difficult to do sales. Fortunately, developers who read the market 2-3 years earlier came out with projects with smaller tickets, more attractive deals from end user point of view. They did do well. Developers with a very good track record on delivery and performance have done extremely well.
All right, Sanjay. Secondly, tell us what were the emerging areas in Mumbai and which ticket sizes were attractive?
The emerging areas in 2015, I would say, was dominated by the Thane and Thane district and Raigad district, I would say. So clearly, Kalyan, Dombivli, Thane side saw a lot of activity. Opportunities within the municipal limits of the city. I think Chembur, Wadala, Parel did extremely well, and Goregaon to Borivali also did reasonably well. Ticket size ranging from 1.5 to 3 crores within the municipal limits of Mumbai were considered the most attractive, and they've done well. End users continue to show their commitment. Outside the municipal limits, I think ticket sizes of 80 lakhs to 1 crore have been the most attractive segments.
Sanjay, now tell us, how was the year for affordable housing players here in Mumbai?
I don't think affordable housing picked up this year. Yes, there have been discussions. Homes overall have become a lot more affordable, largely because of smaller sizes and lower EMIs, and to some extent price correction, not significant but mildly. But I don't think there is a conscious drive to create low-cost housing, which generally what we imply affordable homes. That has not seen significant supply in 2015. I hope there is going forward.
All right, Sanjay, before we let you go, tell us, how do you see 2016 panning out for Mumbai's residential market?
Some of the recent launches in the fourth quarter, beginning October, in fact, we saw very positive sale momentum, which earlier was not there. So I think it's to do with the fact that the people have realized that the markets have bottomed out and the prices to some extent have come down and the ticket sizes have become attractive. Interest rates, thanks to low inflation, has come down. So overall, it's a much better environment.
All right. All right, Sanjay Dutt of Cushman & Wakefield, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on the news on Magic Bricks Now. Shifting focus then to the Delhi High Court, which passed an order on Wednesday giving home buyers the option of going to the collector if the rate at which they buy or sell their property is lesser than the circle rate where their property is located. Magic Bricks Now did report this yesterday, and today, to bring you more perspective on the order, we are being joined by two guests, Advocate Anirudh Vadhva, who filed the PIL that spurred this judgment, and Amit Gupta, who is an advocate and an expert on real estate. Mr. Vadhva, Mr. Gupta, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on the news on Magic Bricks Now. I will come to you first, Mr. Vadhva, by asking you to break down this order for us. What does this order mean for the home buyer or the seller?
Okay, Krishna, to give you a perspective, let us understand what the situation was prior to the order. Prior to this order, prior to the judgment, consumers did not have an option of getting their property papers registered if their transaction was below the circle rate. The order has held that this is not correct, and property owners now have the option of getting their papers registered even if the transaction is below the circle rate, and they can get their dispute as to the stamp duty referred to the collector.
All right, Mr. Wadhwa, I will toss it back to Amit. Then Amit, you tell us, what does this mean for every transaction that is lower than the circle rate? You have to queue up in front of the collector's office.
See, every transaction in this case need not necessarily be referred to the collector, for the reason this order particularly, this judgment particularly deals with the subject where properties which are priced below the circle rates of the market rates of properties which are below the circle rates. These particularly deal with the colonies like Maharani Bagh, New Friends Colony, Panchil Park also, and similarly placed colonies. In these colonies, a particular peculiar situation has arisen that the market rates are far below than the circle rates of the properties. So this judgment, what this judgment says is that you have an option to satisfy the registering authority at the first instance, and if registering authority is not satisfied with the valuation, then registering authority can refer that to the collector, which is clearly envisaged in section 47 of the Stamp Act.
All right, Mr. Gupta. Now, just want to ask you this to both of you gentlemen. So we'll go to Mr. Wadhwa first. Since it fosters, uncertainty, will this also open up ways for under-the-table dealings, Mr. Wadhwa?
No, I don't agree with that, Krishna. What it would do is it would give genuine property buyers and genuine property sellers the option of getting their documents registered by going to the registering officer and satisfying him that this is the true price of the transaction. What was impossible earlier has been made possible by the Delhi government, and as long as buyers and sellers are genuinely representing the true value of their transaction in the papers, they should be able to satisfy the registrar. Ultimately, the court has held that there is a judicial supervision over registration of documents, and that would ensure that there would be no underhand dealings.
All right, Mr. Gupta, I want to come to you on the same. What about this particular move, aiding red tape, aiding underhand dealings?
No, I particularly don't believe this, because this is a judicial overview, and in any case the procedure of law has to be followed. And I personally believe that, see, this is within the public domain. Every instrument which is going to be registered is well within the public domain, and let us suppose a document is registered at a lower value, then that can act as a precedent for all the subsequent transactions. So I personally don't believe this.
Believe in that. Mr. Wadhwa, I'm going to come to you on this. What should anybody transacting in property do, after this particular order?
So after this particular order, people should evaluate their transaction. Earlier, people who were unable to get their property registered if the transaction was below the circle rate can now do so at the rate that they feel is fair for that property, as long as they have enough evidence to satisfy the judicial authorities, the sub-registrar, the collector, ultimately the district court, that this is the true price of the transaction. So as long as people really are following the true spirit and letter of the law, there should be no problem, and they should go ahead and buy and sell properties.
Anirudh Wadhwa, Amit Gupta, both of you, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on the news to understand this Delhi High Court order on Magic Bricks Now. Moving on to our special series, War of the Cities. It's the race up to the top 20, and 85 of 98 have submitted their smart proposals. Who will be in and who will be out? As we await the answer, we at Magic Bricks Now look at each of these cities who have submitted their proposals. And today, we take a look at Kochi. My colleague Aishwarya Paliwal is standing by with the details of Kochi's smart plans. Aishwarya, take it away. Tell us more.
When the central government gave guidelines for smart city proposals, they gave municipal corporations 3 models to choose from: retrofit, redevelopment or greenfield. Kochi in Kerala chose the retrofit model for its development. Kochi's smart city plan focuses on 1,700 acres of prime land within the city. Now the plan aims at increasing urban mobility and better infrastructure. The key areas that the corporation is keen on developing includes the Fort area, the Kalavati area, the Muttinchuri area, even parts of Amravati. Now the central part of the city like Darbar Hall, High Court and MG Road will also get improved connectivity and better infrastructure. Now the plan aims at increasing and improving water transport by increasing ferry services across Fort and Muttinchuri. Ferry services would also be increased between central business districts. Now the municipal corporation is also looking at using solar-powered street lighting system. They are also looking at creating different Wi-Fi hotspots. They want to up the security by using surveillance cameras in different parts of the city. And they are also looking at recharging points for electrical vehicles. So in a nutshell, Kochi's plan emphasizes on use of natural resources and improving infrastructure across the board.
Thank you, Aishwarya, for bringing us Kochi's smart plans. And with that, we have run out of time here on the show. But remember, if you have any feedback or suggestions for us, write to us on the email ID flashing on your screens. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, so feel free to tweet to us or post your query on our Facebook page. We would absolutely love to hear from you. Also, remember to check out our live streaming website, www.mbnow.in. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the news here on Magic Bricks Now. Thank you for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.